plus Sky Piercer. That's what we saw from Lupi in game number 1 of match number 1 on the Masha. And then game number 2 was banned out. So Cambodia taking a page out of that book, trying to utilize the same thing. And I love it. For Cambodia, they have the tools to actually take control of the game all the way from the start. Start that snowball and maybe get a clean sweep here, Naisu.
Like, not only do I see good potential for snowball, but even late game value is here for Cambodia. So Malaysia's going to have to do something.
5 seconds till the enemy reaches.
Let's see, ladies and gentlemen, will Malaysia be able to equalize here and to take us to game number 3? Or will Cambodia eliminate Malaysia with a clean sweep, putting themselves onto the main stage for ISF WEC 24 Riyadh? It's Skies and a Nolan, a signature pick of his. But same goes for Lucas on the utility jungler for Cambodia. He was able to make it work in game 1. Let's see on the Fredrin if anything changes. Lucas, Concussive Blast, wants to try to hold and, at least equal the crazy clear speed of the Nolan here, but you can already see that Skies is level 3, a level ahead. Yume's already very aggressively invading the enemy jungle.
This is a good invade. They're most likely just going to get the retribution out from, Lucas here, and it looks like that's all they want to do, but also Sario and Felix going to help bring the backup, and that's what we're talking about. One of the things that Malaysia, they get the full reset, so he doesn't want to use the retribution, I guess. They get the information that he didn't either, and that he doesn't have orange buff. Lucas in trouble trying to get the turret, and that's not going to be enough. That was definitely a mistake coming out from Lucas. What happened there? And it's going to happen more. More punishes under the turret. Sario and Felix might be next here. And Malaysia, talk about a strong start, a snowballing start. Exactly what they needed with this lineup.
What was that? Lucas, I'm actually kind of speechless there after watching that play. He had the angle already. The rest of the team had already bought him enough time, bought him enough space to actually go for it. And he decides to go for the other camp instead of utilizing Boxy's hold onto the orange buff. And now he's going to be behind quite a bit. And because of everybody rotating to help him, the whole team's going to be behind. Lucas kind of, gave Cambodia a hard time in the early game now. And now they're going to have to go and find an uphill battle. There's 3,000 gold almost below, and Skies, he has no interest in going for the turtle. He wants to continue this deny. He wants to continue this punish from Lucas, and he'll do so. Lucas finally now using the retribution, but it's a bit too late, buddy. That window has closed, and now it's the Malaysian snowball that we all know and love.
He's level 3, Mirko, to, the level 6 of Skies right now. That is, concussive blast or not, like we were talking about, trying to keep up with Skies. At this point, you're just stuck trying to farm, trying to be in the jungle. And look at that way Dragon Armor going to be used on boxing, able to survive with the flicker, but a flicker from Stormy, and now here comes Yumes, goes in. The assertive guy goes in forward. Yumes will pick up the next kill now, sitting on 4 kills for Malaysia in total. You're going to get this turtle as well. Lucas, not sure if he can really do anything with that, so he's just going to have to watch the turtle secured. Now Malaysia furthering the lead, and now they want to punish Lucas even more. Back for the orange buff. They're going to force him back. He's going to rely on boxing. Boxing now gets the level 4 available for this Edith. It looks like now top side run, the king going to be in trouble as he falls under the turret to Lolio. Meanwhile, Cambodia will just lose the buff here. It's just looking very grim already for Cambodia. 3.5 minutes in as Malaysia full snowball mode already.
3 minutes and it already seems like it's going to go to a game 3 again.
Yumes goes in with Way of the Dragon. Nice pickup, Ra. You're not his big daddy this time, but they will punish Yumes. Sario and Felix comes in, but on the top side run, the king can't run away from Stormy as he falls under the turret. And this is once again Malaysia just dominating on all sides of the map. Even the jungle, Lucas will not see a buff here as Skies furthers his lead. Level 8, almost level 9 against Lucas, level 5.
What a stomp this is, right? For Malaysia, they have a 5,000 gold lead at the 4th minute of the game. They're beating the clock at this point. I don't think I've seen a gold lead this massive this early on in the game. Usually it's still 2 to 3, and now it's so weird. Lucas wants to fight now.
Lucas again? I mean, we talked about the pick-off potential with a Cho pick, and it's happening time and time again in the hands of Yumes. Even questionably, like, what is Lucas doing there at that point? I think he's just a little probably a little tilted with the way the early game went. I mean, he's not getting any bust, any farm, and now Sarium Felix going to be dealing with the last insanity under the turret. Will flicker out, but it's still Stormy and Gojes here. Dawning Light going to try to help the fight, but it's not going to be enough. We'll go ahead and get some of these health bars back up, but look at this, Lucas. You want a buff, you're not going to get it because Humes, even zoning him out. Lucas has to rely on the rest of the team to get here to help him. Just secure, but look at the damage already coming out from Skies. They're going to fight under the tier 2. All for the orange buff, but they might punish him back as Skies does fall, but now Sarium Felix on the run won't be able to get away. But another kill gets picked up for Lucas, and it could be more. Run the King on the run for Stormy. Stormy one hit away, and he will get shut down. A turnaround for Cambodia. Some way, somehow, Malaysia overstays.
How do they do that? They won against a 5,000 goal lead, snowballing composition of Team Malaysia with a Nolan, a Valentina, an export. This whole team was built to secure the early to mid game, and the fact that they had a 5,000 goal lead, man, Malaysia overstaying so much. The turtle was up top. They could have gone for the orange, but they decided to actually chase a bit too far, and that could prove to be costly for them, man. Stormy, that big shutdown, 4-0, given to the hands of Run the King. They're able to get the turtle, as we can see here from the live screen. But, man, they've lost so much momentum based on that play. All right, if you take a look at the goal lead, it's still not too bad. It's still a 4,000 goal lead for Team Malaysia. So they're still able to hold it down. It's not the worst. But Malaysia, remember, with this kind of composition, you're good even in the late game with the Moscow technically, but Cambodia are not just good in the late game. They're going to be excellent in the late game with that Xavier. The Xavier is going to be the key to victory here. If Malaysia don't end this within, 14 minutes? If Cambodia can actually just equalize the goal lead here as well, it's going to be great. Oh!
Once again, they're going to find a lot of CC on Humes, but also firing back to the backside, forcing Sarium Felix back. Gojes now just cooking him, but he won't actually pull the trigger on the last insanity. So still, Cambodia withstands some of the fight. I think, as you were saying, Miracle, hold on now once again. Skies trying to find Boxing. Will be able to execute him with the Sky Piercer. So that's a kill down, a body down for Cambodia. Sarium Felix going to possibly jump in. Doesn't want to commit because meanwhile the top lane's going to be pushed in. Malaysia still playing around the lead that they have, even with Cambodia finding some wins across the map. They still have a massive goal deficit to work towards.
Okay, so it's still very, very good. Yums again.
Comes again. Look at this. Lucas in trouble. Sarium Felix trying to turn the tide onward into the air shatter, but they have no follow-up available. There they go. Jumps in. Run the King. They really want to fight this out. Once again, they still need time to get the items they need to match up against the firepower of Malaysia.
And now we're going to take a look at Loliel, who's already snowballing on this Moscow. The DHS already built up 3-item power spike for him. So at the 8th minute, now this is the proper 8th minute to go for the play that he went for in game number 1. Now he can actually go for the Spirit of Destruction. Now he can actually pop in onto 4 members, and maybe he'll be able to survive, actually. Still going to be tough, though, up against this composition. You have a lot of CC, a lot of damage from Felix, too. So you really can't count Cambodia out, despite them losing out so hard in the early game. They still have a lot of damage output to actually turn the tides for a lot of these skirmishes. But at least for the turtle, Malaysia is going to be safe. Cambodia will be forced to just go down below. That's all they can do. They can't go for any of these skirmishes. Not now. It's a desperate Dawning Light to maybe go for a steal, but it's not going to happen here. Malaysia secure the first lord of the game. 8 minutes in and 30 seconds. Still with an 8,000 gold lead too, man.
Yeah.
Absolute stomp for now. Even despite that, kind of like a small throw. It's a Wishing Lantern, by the way, for the Valentina. It's a new item coming in handy. Have to seize into the Sky Piercer for the Masha as well. These core items are still quite far away from being built, Naisu. Especially for Ra. He's not the big daddy this game. Not yet, right? He's got to wait for those items to be finished up. They're getting a little bit of damage on the Gojes, which is great before the Lord actually comes in. And Ra gets the Lightning Truncheon, but I think he'll need 1 more item to at least be online. 2 if maybe they want to turn the tides of this game. But Malaysia building the waves in such a good way. Cambodia have good wave clear technically with a Xavier. But Malaysia could actually just go for the stomp, could go for the dive all the way. They have Yums, they have even a Last Insanity as well, that anti-CC.
Yep.
It seems they're going to do it.
Gonna get the shields off here. Lord now part of the fight in the backside, gets the kickoff once again. Yumes might get caught out himself though. It's gonna get locked down a little bit before now the turret goes down. Last Insanity gonna be used. Dawning Light already committed. Boxy goes down, but look at the backside again. Sorry, Felix will be chasing Lolil, and he can't get the kill. A couple hits away only. And meanwhile, Cambodia trying to hold on to this mid lane turret. They still have to deal with these minion waves pushing in. For Malaysia, happy with the assault so far, looking for more. Lolio will pick up the Wind of Nature. He might jump in. There's the Spear of Destruction as they take out Run the King, and Malaysia looks to take it, possibly for a game 3 if they can punch this one in. Still working on the bottom turret. Yumes for the pressure on the Crystal, trying to get the attention, going for Ra. He does find him with the Way of the Dragon, find enough time. The Immortality's going to pop. Malaysia still looking to possibly end it here, but they need more kills. They don't have enough waves pushing in for Cambodia. They'll actually defend and stay in the game.
Incredible value though still for Malaysia. The fact that they were able to take 3 base turrets with just the first Lord. And Lolio, we did see him go for that Spear of Destruction like we expected, right? Spear of Destruction in towards the back. Didn't find the kill onto Ra, but still, that was really, really good. They were able to pressure the back line a lot. Cambodia had to really respect that, but still, they were able to defend. With that big of a goal lead, you would expect Malaysia to be able to end the game, but that's why the wave clear coming in from the Xavier is just so valuable. It's still going to be really tough, though, for Cambodia to look for a full comeback here. 18 seconds for the Enhanced Lord. And with that Lord, it should be an end straight up for Malaysia. If they keep this lead in the 12th minute of the game as they get that Enhanced Lord, I really don't see a way where Cambodia can actually go for the defense unless Malaysia make a big throw happen. If they make a big mistake, right, around the dive for the end, but I can't see that nice too. It just feels like with this gold lead, with the advantage that you have in the macro as well because of the base turrets taken down. Oh, okay, that could have been an answer as well, by the way. If somehow Ra gets the Dawning Light to steal the Lord, yeah, that could have been an angle where they can actually try to look for a comeback, but that didn't happen, obviously. Malaysia didn't even let it go to become enhanced. Okay, so that actually makes it defendable.
It does. I think it does, but it makes it defendable in that sense, but still, Malaysia's so far ahead, man. I mean, look at their items. They could actually just, even with having Gojes just going with Last Insanity, it's going to disperse Cambodia so much that I think they might have a troubling time defending their base here, but let's find out if they can do it.
Lolio already has it with the Nature as well. He picked it up in the previous fight, so it's going to be very easy for him to actually deny some of this damage coming in from Felix. I think he'll have to go for Stormy, and Yume's already concealed in the back.
Yep, Yume's trying to find Rob, possibly going to be able to flick around and avoid it. They do drag the Lord bottom side. They might be able to buy themselves enough time. They have to deal with it, but Lucas is already down, and the Lord is still up, and they'll just focus on the Crystal, and Malaysia will take it to a game number 3 against Cambodia.
Victory!
Interaction with the Harith. So Cambodia goes a little more tanky. They lock in a Kufra. So this is like pure damage pickoff versus durability I see here. You know, durability, there's some magic damage, of course, there too. But this is huge.
Yes.
And Lucas has to have a good time with this Roger jungle.
He really does. He needs to be set up for success here. And I think, okay, so earlier when he picked up the carry, I was instantly thinking, why? Why would you go for the carry? Are you trying to go for the Kaja later for the last pick? Because the Edith just seems like so value. It just seems so value. It's maybe a top tier roamer in this meta, right? It definitely comes down as like an S or maybe A tier. Definitely in the upper echelon of the prio picks when it comes down to roam. So then they pick up the Kufra. Completely understand now. You know, the carry pick, just trying to see what other picks they go for, Malaysia, and then reacting to it with the Kufra. Now, a lot of those dashes will be stopped by the Kufra, and technically for Cambodia, they have ways to go and enable Lucas on this pick. Ladies and gentlemen, game number 3, Cambodia takes on Malaysia. It was 1-0 for Cambodia, but Malaysia were able to equalize the odds 1-1. And from a best of 3, we're back to technically just a best of 1 to decide which of these nations will go and represent their country in the main stage of ISF WEC 24 in Riyadh. Will it be Cambodia? Will it be Malaysia? Go and spam in the live chat what you guys think this game is going to show us. Will it be even a stomp, or maybe perhaps our first ever mid to late game battle? Because in the early game, Ra is getting bullied. Deja vu.
Oh no, deja vu. Yums, oh, Ra is gonna go down. This might be once again a response here coming through. Yums trying to get out of there. Sky's there to back him up, but now possibly another
Yikes.
kill. Malaysia, 2 on the board early in. Boxing not gonna be able to really do much either, and Skies will go ahead, delay the jungle even.
I was about to say, man, that was really close. The fact that he wanted to just, risk that gorgeous up top.
Ooh, revenge strike, not enough to get the kill, but sorry, I'm Felix. He has that minion there to tank up the tower, and he's just going to chase down Gojes. Gojes has nowhere to go, and he gets swung into the air, and now Boxing once again going to be the target for Malaysia as Lolil will pick up the kill. At least Cambodia able to get one on the board earlier on the top side. Malaysia really controlling so far this portion of the game. Nothing too crazy. Ra, is he going to force this on Storm? He goes in, but not enough damage just yet.
Not enough just yet, but still for Malaysia, it's such a good lead at the start of the game. If you take a look at the gold, though, not too big. It's only just, around 500 gold that they picked up with those 3 kills. I think it's because of the solo kill as well, up top, that they weren't really able to fully capitalize on this, and it's actually going to be Cambodia on the turtle.
Okay, yeah, actually, Cambodia will be able to take this just fine. Really easily, actually. They knew that Skies was trying to get the purple buff, and they might look to punish now. Stormy could be in trouble in the mid lane. Lucas jumps in, won't be able to get the kill with the Lycan Pounce, and now forcing Yums back a little bit further. Skies might try to just swoop in and retrieve this purple buff. He's going to have to time it perfectly. Penalty zone already going to be used. Gojes trying to join the fight from the backside, but Skies is in trouble. Will be able to survive, though, barely. But meanwhile, will lose that buff, and they keep it together. But right now, Cambodia really fighting back, given how the beginning of the game went, at least able to keep things even and take some even from Malaysia.
Game number 1, Cambodia, the way that they were able to go up against the Fanny was, all right, you know what? You're already snowballing at the start of the game. We'll just use our composition with a lot of the displacements that we have in our composition to go up against the Fanny. We won't even go for the purple buff steals, purple buff invades. But game number 3 is a bit different. You do have, tools to utilize to cancel out those dashes coming in from the Fanny, but it's still kind of a brawl composition that you've built for yourself in the early phase of the game, especially considering that, this is a strong side of the XP lane for Cambodia. They're going to be able to force the issue a lot in around that purple buff side that will be spawning up towards the top side of the map. So for Cambodia, it's already a very different angle of attack now. It'll be more of the threats towards the purple buff. And when you do that, Sky is going to be having a bad time. I was talking about how this Fanny pick could work. This Fanny pick is still really good in the hands of Skies. But if you don't have a purple buff, I'm sorry to say, but it doesn't matter how good you really are around the early game, at least, right? If you don't have the purple buff and you play within your base, sure, Boxy.
Oh, Box, okay, he's gonna be fine. But yeah, as you were saying, if Skies doesn't have the purple buff, it's gonna be tough. And every time it's up, you look at the rotations from Cambodia. They want to find now in the mid lane once again. Look at the burst damage from Stormy from the Yin Yang overturn. What a huge setup, and into the penalty zone they go. Still looking, Stormy's the one to fall, and they might be looking for Gojes. Tries to get something with a Primal Wrath. What a flicker, though. Will be able to pick up a kill himself and survive the fight. And now they just chase him down, but Gojes should be fine. It looked so good for Cambodia, but then fell apart quickly.
Wow. Back and forth, but a win for Malaysia. Good flicker out by Gojes. And honestly, for me, it feels like Ra was saving that flicker a bit too long. I think it's really good, though, if we take a look at the long term of that flicker not being used, because they do have a lot of pressure here. And Skies is waiting in the bush, gets spotted out. So they're going to reset and look to go for the neutral objective again. 1,000 gold behind this time.
Oh, he's trying to get in there. He's going to be able to get there in time, though. Yin Yang overturn already used, and Skies is somehow able to get the turtle in the exchange. No one will fall, but the turtle is at least secured for Malaysia. Cambodia tried their best to keep him at bay, but they struggled a little bit dealing with this. Purple buff's going to be up for Lucas, though. And again, Cambodia still trying to work through this lead now. Yums takes some damage, and Stormy, but they get the turret now for Malaysia. Bottom side turret. Looks like they're going to put more pressure here on the resources. Cambodia, though, to go ahead and make sure Lucas gets this buff, because Malaysia, man, they're starting to further the goal lead that we talked about it. They kept it relatively even, but now they're pulling further ahead, 2,000 ahead in this gold of almost 6 minutes into the game. But relatively, I'd say it's still a pretty back and forth between both.
The Malaysian snowball is online in the 5th minute of the game. A signature playstyle which theoretically is kind of weird. It doesn't snow in Malaysia, but hey, we'll go with it, right? Sky Piercer for the Fanny. Oh, Yums!
Yum's gonna go in. Way the Dragon gonna be used. Purify already there. Now fighting in the mid lane. Look at the damage coming out. Yum's in trouble. Zaman Force already dropped down as well. They're gonna fight it out. Lucas could be in trouble. Ying Yang Overturn has too much damage, but it's a double kill for Lolil. And they force boxing back as well. They're not done yet. Sorry, Felix has to flicker defensively. Man, Malaysia, what an overlay of ultimates and abilities to win that fight.
They wanted to, double down in the early game to mid. We saw it with the Kagura pick as well, and we are seeing it now. Use Lolil with a dive. Oh, clean by Lolil. The synchro fissioning, that final shot, Felix definitely overstaying in the mid lane, not respecting that damage from a 3-0 Lolil on the Harith. 6 minutes in, Naisu, and it's looking very, very similar to game number 2 and how Malaysia was able to control the map. But this time, I think it's a bit more impressive because it's not like they shut down Cambodia from the start. They're just able to outfight them, outclass them in these skirmishes, and even outset up a lot of these skirmishes. Yums, we gotta give a lot of credit to him because in that second turtle, it would have been free. Gorgeous.
Gorgeous gonna go in onward into the air. Shatter boxing, trying to get out of there with that formation, but even with the setup, it's not gonna happen. There's just too much damage once again, and Skies joins the fight to clean things up, and all Rock can do is watch his teammates fall apart as Malaysia will get the kills, get the fights, and the turtle. Now ready to just further the lead. Full snowball effect at this point. Lolil gonna find Ra, pushes him out. So even with the Zaman Force, but they'll get this tier 2 early. This early on, and a purple buff gonna be lost for Lucas.
Slowly but surely, again, just utilizing their lead. They don't want to, to throw the game. This is still such a massive lead to utilize. So many advantages to choose from. I mean, at this point, I'm really just trying to look at that damage as well. The fact that the Cho dealt 10,000 damage more than the Fanny, only doing 8,000 damage. It kind of made me kind of speechless there. Okay, so even for Cambodia, it's not like they're not doing damage at all. For the Terizla, the Valentina, and even the Roger, they're actually doing quite a bit of damage, but Run the King on this carry, pick that I was also kind of doubting in the drafts. I have to say, man, you don't really have a good time on the carry up against this kind of composition. You want to pick up the carry usually up against tankier members. The fact that they picked it up against composition with a lot of damage dealers, that's why I was already doubting it. But then I saw the Kufra pick, and I was like, all right, I get what they're trying to do. They want to go for a safe pick. Gorgeous. Flickers forward. Earth Shatter. Yums conceal.
Oh, Yums. Yums using the conceal again. Gonna knock up 3 members, but can't find the way the Dragon he was looking for. They'll force the fight anyway. Cambodia gonna force Malaysia back a little bit further. Everybody's still alive. Yums had an idea. It didn't work out that time. So Cambodia buying themselves some more time to farm up here.
It's great though, right? The fact that you can still just utilize Yums, but with his aggressive damage, with his aggressive positioning and decision making, it's still okay for Malaysia. You don't really have to go for the full. The fact that you can still just utilize Yums, but with his aggressive damage, with his aggressive positioning and decision making, it's still okay for Malaysia. You don't really have to go for the full discipline route sometimes, especially if you have a player like Yums. He's on a roam anyways, so even if he goes for those crazy, risky plays, if he dies, it's fine. It's just a roam. You just wait for him to respawn, especially in the 9th minute of the game where the death timer is still so low. So now Yums is actually going to look for the angle of attack, and you'll have a very, very good angle to go for a flank from the bottom side of the map. The purple buff actually going to be stolen away by Skies early here before the Lord even gets contested. So that's an advantage already by Skies. 2 levels ahead now of Lucas. When it comes to the retry battle, Lucas is going to have a tough time, especially now the Heptases also. Man, so many of these power spikes coming in at the right time.
Yep, Tyrant's Revenge gonna be using the rage. They find the target. Yum's gonna be taken out. Zaman Force on boxing. Look at the damage once again. Skies will join the fight. Blade turning everywhere. Looking for a possible maniac, but doesn't get it. As Lolil will pick up the kill, but it's a wipeout for Malaysia. They have the waves already pushing in. Timers are too long, but they could possibly just get these base turrets down. Hold on, base turret, look at the live. We have GG on the live. Zaman Force already charged, and it looks like Malaysia might possibly end the game with a live here as we go back, and they'll do it. Malaysia will take down Cambodia and move forward to the WEC in Riyadh.
2-1. You were able to come back from the 1-0.
See it on stream. I can't wait to see this kind of unfold for game one.
The Bane with the Sky Piercer, with the burst build, it should be, right? We saw this for a couple of teams already, but yeah, Malaysia off stream. This is the first time that we are going to be seeing it streamed. So ladies and gentlemen, are you team Bane or are you team, Run the King on the Warcry Roger? Very, very interesting stuff as we get into the land of Dawn for game number 1 of match number 2. Who will be the second team to qualify to ISF 2024 WEC Riyadh? Will it be Cambodia or will it be Malaysia? Leave your predictions in the live chat right now. First blood, what?
What happened? Sorry, Felix is not sorry about that. It's the first blood and is going to force Gojas back too. Boxing just staying here. Now Gojas is actually in a very bad situation. He's going to have to go back unless they just trap him under the turret. It looks like they're going to do just that. So interesting. First blood already. Here we go. We're going to take a look. This one's not a replay now, but yeah, just look at this. Like, what happened?
That's the Cambodian aggression that we were expecting all the way from the start of the game. I guess just the understanding that they would actually have more pressure when it comes to the early fight. Stormy?
Oh, again, in the mid lane, Stormy. Boxing is, did I not say that the Edith has been just performing like crazy? But look at the Fanny damage is going to be there under the turret. And Skies will go and get this kill, putting Malaysia on the board now. At least finding an answer to what I was saying. You know, boxing is being a threat here on the Edith.
Well played, right? Because it's already very uncharacteristic for Malaysia, or maybe it is characteristic. Very aggression at the start. It's just Cambodia know how to go up against an aggressive team because they themselves are an aggressive team. Maybe for Cambodia, it's about them just looking in the mirror and seeing, oh, Malaysia plays the same way. It's just us, but in a different flag, with a different composition here. And this lead that Felix has, by the way, in the bottom lane, when there's another skirmish, Edith.
Another skirmish, all for the resources. As you were saying, the lead that he has.
Yeah, it's a big lead that the Terizla has in the bottom lane. He will be able to get level 4 first. So Lucas on this Bane will actually have a very, very good time. Yums is still level 2.
Yeah, again, Deadliest Catch. Look at the damage coming out from it. It is going to be Boxing that gets the kill, but man, Deadliest Catch. Deadly damage, and that's going to get them the turtle as well as Lucas swoops in. Now they're going to find it out. Oh, the lockdown is on point from Sorry I'm Felix as he uses the penalty zone to even catch Skies. Huge win for Cambodia.
You can have Sorry in your name, but it didn't look like he was sorry at all. For the 2-3 kills that he gets all the way from the start of the game, Cambodia starting things off really, really strong, and now utilizing the strength in the top side again.
Ooh. Again, the top side, Lalil going to be in trouble. Couple hits away, but won't be able to get the kill, and now Yums joins the fight. Darling Light going to find Lalil. Couldn't escape that one, but now Skies punishes. Will pick up the Sky Piercer on top of it, but Malaysia still dragging behind a little bit here. Man, Cambodia, this is the pace we were talking about.
We were expecting Cambodia to be the aggressors, and we do see that here. We get to see the replay again as to what happened. Yums, you were talking about how he's super duper crazy aggressive. That was a term I think that we, agreed upon in the drafts. And we do see that, but now it's just wrong in terms of the timing there. He went in when he was level 2, and for the rest of the team as well, knowing that Gojas is at level 4, your roamer just died, there was no reason for them to really go for that skirmish. Sky is losing out on a whole lot of momentum, and here, not even able to deal a lot of damage on Lucas.
Time and time again, the combination into the Deadly Catch. Penalty zone going to be used as well. Spirit of Destruction was there, so they're going to fight it out. Cambodia losing Lucas in the exchange, and now still going. Dawning Light going to find Skies. They find another target. The shortcut was already used as they come back through. Boxing will fall in Malaysia, firing back. Possibly still be looking for more. Sorry, I'm Felix holding down the front side, has the body of Smith and the healing. And he's going to be just fine again. This Terizla is going to be troublesome. And now the top side looks like they ran a little bit further. Run the King trying to run away here. Going to get locked down under the turret, but will take one with him as Yums falls as well. Turtle's now up here. Cambodia ready to fight it out against Malaysia for it, but it looks like they control this side unless Skies can go in. He can't get the turtle. Was trying to get the retribution off, but won't be there in time.
It did make him panic though, right? Because it did seem like, for Boxy at least, he was able to be the one to get the turtle. And that will be at least some resources given to the wrong member. So Lucas won't be able to fully snowball. But still, with 2 turtles at the start of the game, with this kind of composition, you expect Cambodia to be able to utilize this with just invading, I would say, up against the Fanny. You want to try to threaten the purple buff takes a few of these times, especially considering the Fanny's behind, not at the optimal state, but still he's doing okay. It's not horrible for the Fanny. He was able to pick 3 kills up. Dying twice is still quite okay at this stage of the game. He already has a Sky Piercer, and for Cambodia, now they have to try to lock Skies down in his own jungle. If they can go for the purple buff steal, that would give them such an easy road in the mid game. And the mid game is definitely the stage of the game that they want to utilize most with this kind of composition. And personally for me, if I take a look in Cambodia here, I have to, again, talk about the pattern. Run the king.
Whoa, the king. Oh, he jumps back with the Lycan pounce. He could have lived. He ends up getting killed anyway. That's a tough situation to be in now on the bottom side. Once again in the jungle, Lucas using the deadliest catch to try to escape. Looks like it's going to be enough. The shortcut goes down. Skies trying to possibly enter from the backside there. Sorry, I'm Felix luckily there. Look at Skies on the map. I don't think he's going to be able to actually find his entry point he was looking for, because they're ready to play defensively on this, but he's still going to be planted. There he goes down in the mid lane and will escape. But Malaysia, I'd say they're still doing pretty good at keeping things even, but now the revenge. Cambodia will go on the top side. Lolio could be in trouble. The flicker from Boxing, but he flickers out. Lolio can't escape the last fish there from the deadliest catch, and Humes will go ahead and flicker out of the dawning light, surviving a little bit longer. Turtle now up though. Malaysia, just as I was saying, doing pretty good, staying together. We'll lose a couple key battles here, and once again, Primal Wrath going to be used into the dawning line on Stormy, forcing him back, and Run the King, making him run for his life. Will get the flicker out, so Cambodia will now secure themselves the 3rd turtle of the game.
3 neutral objectives, but if you take a look at the gold lead, it's only just about 1,000. It's creeping up at that 2,000 mark for the gold lead, but this is not really going to be that good for Cambodia, at least at this stage of the game. They would want to have a bigger lead, especially considering they started the game off with an amazing snowball. Maybe getting that, onward again.
Again, going to be utilized. Just trying to hold down this bottom side, but they also get the split out. So Cambodia, and you're starting to see things kind of really fall into place for Ra, your big daddy, on this pick, this Xavier pick, like we said, scaling up pretty good this early on in the game with the kind of lead that they've managed to get.
Okay, so again, if we take a look at the lead, on paper, if you just take a look at Cambodia's composition, it's not really that good. They want to be a little bit safer with a bigger lead at this point of the game. But then you take a look at the Xavier, right? And you can think to yourself, hey, yeah, no problem. They have a Bane, they have a Xavier. Even if it goes to the late game, the Bane's going to be a big problem. The Xavier is going to be an even bigger problem. And the fact that Lucas is already so tanky means that they want to go for these skirmishes. This is a timer to go for it. They got a turret.
Just run it down. Just run it down mid, get the turrets, get the resources, just pushing everybody out. Shortcut going to be used. They might be forced to fight here. Onward goes in. Earth Shatter not going to find the connection they're looking for, but in the backside, once again, Lolio going to be in trouble. Lucas will get the kill. Split already used with 3 members down for Malaysia. Dawning Light already committed as well from Cambodia. Run. Is he actually going to force this in? Stormy has the penalty zone, and Hume's now going to be the target, but they won't follow up through. They want to get that tier 2 in the mid, but Cambodia just coming out swinging in game number 1.
That was just so forced by Malaysia, man. The fact that Yums already went in, popped in the shortcut, was able to get some members to rotate back into the teleport. They were already able to force out Ra to flicker out, just based on just with the shortcut alone. So they already got a little bit of a W there. But the fact that they tried to push even further with a Spear of Destruction at the 9th minute of the game from Lolio, who was already 1 and 2 before that team fight even started, and the fact that he took it, that Spear of Destruction landed in the midst of the Cambodian mid-game power spike that they have. And he took it. That was an interesting play from Lolio. One that I'm not a fan of. And you can definitely see now Cambodia with a 4,000 gold lead, they're going to go and force the issue.
Once again, Lord here for the taking, and it's going to be Lucas that secures it. They might be forced to fight. The shortcut already dropped down. Hume's going to be in trouble as Run the King will get another notch on the kill list. Meanwhile, Leo does get that push in the bottom side, but at what cost as Cambodia furthers their lead, and now the Lord in the mid lane.
It's well played to Cambodia, obviously, right? They're doing so many of the correct things. They're able to punish every single mistake, even the minor mistakes coming in from Malaysia. But also for Malaysia, this is a completely different team. The number one of each group, Group A and Group B. Myanmar in Group A in that match number one, we were talking about how it was just weird to see Myanmar play in a different way. And now it's happening to Malaysia as Cambodia continue the siege.
Oh, the siege, the penalty zone already dropped under the turret. They're going to be forced to fight once again. And look, I'm sorry, I'm Felix jumping to the backside, just decimating Malaysia. Only Skies left alone, and also Goches, but I don't think it's going to be enough as the Lord makes its way to the base, and they focus it down, and Cambodia will take first blood in the best of 3 series against Malaysia.
10 minutes and 30 seconds. We saw in game 2, Indonesia